Now, the desire to know more about the food we eat has never been greater, and more schools in the East are taking an even bigger interest by growing their own vegetables.
Not only is it educational, it's also healthy, and the finished product, well, it tastes pretty good as well. And we finally managed to persuade Jonathan to leave the comfort of the studio and head to the Anglia Allotment to tell us more. Jonathan!
His hands aren't very dirty, though.
No.
Look at this. Oh, well, let's look at this wonderful evening I've got. It's absolutely wonderful. Now, guys, forget the computer games, forget the designer trainers, grow your own. That's a new craze sweeping the schools at the moment throughout the East. We don't actually have the precise number of figures of the schools in the East that actually have allotments, but what I can tell you is it's pretty big. The Potato Council, they launched a scheme this year to say to schools, grow your own spuds, and we'll give you the spuds for free. Now, take a look at the take-up of it, really successful throughout the East. Let's start in Essex, down here. 383 schools have taken up the challenge to growing their own spuds. The numbers going really well as we move up the Essex coast. Suffolk doing well. Norfolk, over 200 schools as well. Let's go around the rest of the patch now. Cambridgeshire looking pretty good. Northamptonshire good as well. Moving down as we do through Bedfordshire, Buckinghamshire and finishing in Hertfordshire. 224 schools there, all taking up this potato challenge. So schools really getting behind the allotments, and allotments pretty big for schools here at the Anglia Allotment. Really popular stuff. This afternoon and earlier today, St Pancras Primary School were here, popping peas and getting really stuck in. It was wonderful to see all those shiny little faces really getting enjoyment from the gardens here. And it's all the brainchild of one lady. She's an amazing lady. Her name's Jean Austin. Not only does she do all the gardening here, but she came up with this fabulous idea for a nature walk as well, which we can see. Jean, thank you very much for showing us around a little bit of the nature walk. Let's take me through it. Tell me what we're seeing, but at the same time, tell me again why you feel it's so important for schools to come out and get such a buzz out of this.
There's so much you can find interesting in a wildlife area.
What are these? These are crab apples, aren't
These
they?
are crab apples, and they will have golden yellow fruit in the autumn.
So they can see that, they can get something, they can feel it.
They can feel them, and they can do things and discover things for themselves.
Well, wild daisies
so
here, is it?
So much interest. Yes, they're oxeye daisies, those ones there.
I thought they might have been. And what else have we got? We've got fruit as well, haven't we?
We have fruit. This is a golden delicious apple tree, but this is nothing like the golden delicious you get in the shops.
Really tasty ones, are they?
This is really tasty
and
ones.
The same with your plums as well.
And this is a plum. This is a beautiful black plum here, and it's so sweet.
Now, I'm sure that all the schools love coming around and seeing all this, but I mean, there will be schools watching this saying, yeah, but that's great, you've got loads of space here, we've only got a tiny little patch. Can they get involved as well or not?
Yes, I would say, why not see if you've got some open spaces in your area? Quite often you have open spaces and you'll have a friends group who look after them and have a wildlife area which they manage, and there may well be things of interest to them there which they can get involved in and discover things for themselves.
Jean, it's been brilliant looking through the nature walk. We'll leave you to it now. They've even got a twiggly, so take a look at this over here as well, if they get a little bit tired at the end of it. Now, this is just one example of the work that's being done for the schools around here. Rhiannon Mills has been reporting now on the other part of the East Anglian region, over in Cambridge, and another school that not only grows their own, but they also contribute to the wider society as well. It's an amazing project. Take a look at this.
Meet Mark and Dan, sort of a modern-day Jack in the Beanstalk. They don't have magic beans, but they do have a giant idea that all stemmed from a courgette plant that wouldn't stop growing.
We were trying to swap them with other allotment holders who also had loads of courgettes. We were giving them to neighbours who were running away because they'd already had some from last week they still hadn't eaten. So we talked to the local hospice, asking if they would be welcoming any fresh food donations, and they were absolutely delighted to get them.
At first, it was just people here on Milton Allotment who were growing and giving. But since Mark and Dan have put their idea on the internet, well, it's grown and grown. They've now got people from 14 different counties who are taking part in Food Share. The idea has also gone international, with allotment keepers in New Zealand, France and even New York taking part. And also the biggest area that it's really grown in is schools, with 7,500 children now growing for charity. One of the first schools on board was Milton Primary.
Are the radishes nearly ready for picking? Tom, look at that. Oh, they're lovely, aren't they?
Whoa. They've now got a dedicated area growing food for terminally ill children at the village hospice. I met up with their 10 head gardeners. How much do you enjoy gardening?
A lot more than any other lesson we do.
And why do you enjoy it so much?
Because you get to get outside and see what it's like out gardening and different experience.
What have you been giving to the charity today?
Some rhubarb, some radish, couple of lettuces, a couple of peas. It's really nice because we get to grow stuff, and then just like the look on their faces when they get like courgettes on their omelette.
It's not only teaching the children the life skills of growing, but to be able to share what they're doing has been a really wonderful experience, and everyone's absolutely loving it.
I feel a bit guilty not helping with the weeding. We probably ought to help, hadn't we?
I think we ought to.
With a healthy basket like this, they're obviously doing fine without me. They even top it up with things they've grown at home. It's then just a short walk to take it to the hospice.
We rely heavily on voluntary income for the funds that we need, and obviously a cost of that is providing meals when they come and stay at the hospice. Taking that cost away by having food donated by the local community is absolutely wonderful.
Thank you. Lovely. Thank you.
More than 100 charities now receive help. It's been a real fairy tale start for Mark and Dan's idea, and with so many young gardeners keen to dig in, it can only continue to grow.
Rhiannon Mills with that report there. Now, loads of schools have been in touch with us, emailing us with the stories about what they've been growing. Let's take a look at some of these. Home Farm Primary School in Colchester. Now, they had a helping hand from the Army with their raised beds. Now, Mo Oliver, the head teacher there, tells us that the children work on the patch every Thursday lunchtime and that the produce grown is used in the school lunches. Fantastic. Now, allotments are obviously springing up all over the place at the moment. Here's another one. This is Barton Mills. It's been provided by Suffolk County Council. That was just taking place in April, and now look at the progress they've made there. They say that the allotments are so popular there's already a waiting list. And finally, good luck to everyone at the East Anglian Fuchsia Show. That's this weekend. Take a look at the wonderful pictures here. The event is in Needham Market. It promises to be another really colourful weekend. And get this, admission just £1, and children are free, so good value for money as well. Do get in touch with Jonathan Becky at itv.com with any of your gardening or allotment stories. You might, if you're a younger person, you might want to send us a picture of a really colourful scarecrow. They're all over the allotment. This one's got a nicely crocheted little vest. You can get in touch with us with any of your colourful pictures. We've got some more to show you as well, some really nice scarecrows all over the allotment. So take a look at those. Perhaps you get some inspiration, and then you can get back in touch with us and send them in. And in July, when we're next back again, we might be able to show you some of those as well. And of course, in July, the World Cup will be over. England, will they have won? I suppose not. But just in case they might need a bit of inspiration for Wednesday, that big game against Slovenia, take a look at our Anglia Allotment goal and our Anglia Allotment World Cup ball. That's how you do it, Mr. Capello. You get the ball in the back of the net for England to win. It's Eric Horton's pride and joy. Eric, can anyone do this or not?
Absolutely, quite easy. It's 2 half baskets, joined in the middle, filled with plants, and you just turn it round every day like that. And that's what you get, full of flower.
It's and a lovely blue flower as well, isn't it? It's a beautiful
absolutely. It's Lobelia Crystal Palace.
Lobelia Crystal Palace, but we want England to win on Wednesday, Eric, don't we? Thank you very much for that. Well, if you want to see how to make that, just go to our website and Eric will show you there in a step-by-step manner how to make the World Cup ball here at the Anglia Allotment. It's something that Alan Titchmarsh would certainly approve of. Very inspiring. Here's our latest Titchmarsh tip.
Digging around.
It's June on the Anglia Allotment, and I think June is the most rewarding month of the year. Stuff's really beginning to look quite weighty now. It's growing well, but you do need to remember that when it gets a little bit dry that you're in charge of watering. Vegetable crops almost entirely like steady growing conditions. They don't want to be dry, then wet, dry, then wet. So do make sure that you keep the moisture even throughout the month. That way you won't get things bolting and running to seed. You'll just keep getting even growth heading towards the harvest.
And in the ground, I got my spade, I got my hoe, I got my rake, and I'm ready to go.
There you go, Alan Titchmarsh would approve of the work we've been doing as well. We've had our own competition, a little sunflower growing competition between Becky and Amanda and myself. I can't tell you which one is which one. This one's looking quite healthy, but a little bit on the small side, Amanda.
Yeah, one is doing considerably better than the others. I think this one's got to be mine, obviously.
Yeah.
But we'll be telling you more about which of these sunflowers is heading more towards the sun or staying more down to earth after we've got the weather on the weekend solstice. So it was a bit of a tricky one this weekend then. It was rather breezy in those northerly winds and feeling very cool. In fact, temperatures in some places only just reached highs of 15 degrees over the weekend. However, it has felt much more like summer today. But is it going to last? Let's take a look.
OK, then. Right, it's time to reveal all, isn't it? Now, I presume small, quite stocky. This one could be mine, is it right?
I reckon it is yours,
You're going to show us whose that one is, then?
Oh,
I can't believe it. Look at that one.
Someone's fixed it.
This one must be Becky's, I'm imagining, looking a little bit droopy around the edges. Oh, no. Oh, no. Which means she's not here, but I know she's just gloating as we speak. All right, here you go, Jago. Oh, my God. And it's a smiling face as well.
I knew I picked the winning seed.
What have you been doing to it, Jacob? You've been feeding it, haven't you?
Honestly, you two have been terrible over the last few weeks, accusing me of sabotage, putting tea in yours and not feeding it when you're away.
Doing all sorts of things. We've got a couple of secret weapons there. You see, Eric here and Jean. Look, the hooch there. But look. Oh, look. Now, this is the sort of stuff. This is what you need. And this is what's going on these two here, Becky. And this one could look a little bit dry when we get back again next time. That's all we'll say.
Come on. Feed mine too. You're not fair.
Oh, OK. All right. No, we'll give you a little bit of a drink.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. I'll have words with you tomorrow, droopy around the edges.
I think someone switched the labels. I think that's what we should go with.
Always a winner. That's it from all of us. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.